Hey guys, Drifter here. I'm doing a dual commentary with Drunk Golf Bro who is playing on Kowloon. Say what's up.
What's going on, YouTube?
Today's dual commentary is going to be a little bit slower paced. I'm not going to talk as fast because, well, do you want to tell them what we're talking about?
Well, today we gonna talk about a little bit about the South.
Oh, that was a little bit of an exaggeration now.
All right.
Yeah, well,
Sorry.
a lot of people think that's how it is. That's not very much of the South. Now, if you go out to
No,
the country, you'll see some of that.
that's very true. I'll apologize to anybody I offended right there. But being from the South, it's about you really only hear about what 10% of people that talk like that, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair enough. Well, of course, it varies by neighborhood and location, but like that, and the accent kind of draws over into regular. I don't consider myself extremely Southern, but the accent sticks. I mean, hell, half the comments are going to be about how I sound like Hank Hill. Like, dang it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby. Yeah, but I know what you mean. Especially if anybody ever out there has ever dated a girl from the South, girls seem to pick up the Southern twang a little more.
Yeah, they do. Generally speak, I haven't traveled. I've traveled around a little bit, but not outside the South as much as I would like. They tell me that Southern girls are prettier, and I just have to take their word for it.
Hey, well, you said before that you lived in Texas. Did you not notice the girls in Texas
Yes,
being?
they were all Hispanic.
Well, did you live in the South part of Texas, like El
No,
Paso?
I'm kidding. I lived in Dallas, and I lived up north by Oklahoma.
Okay, well, I know, when I lived in Dallas, they're all blonde and gorgeous.
Gotcha. I didn't. I wasn't there when I was old enough to really notice. It was mostly elementary school for me.
Okay, well then you weren't. They still had cooties, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So,
But anyway, we're going to talk about, I guess, Southern politics, how the maybe clear up a few misconceptions about how people are here, or maybe make some worse. Because in general, you hear people talk about the South, and it's like the Bible Belt, the super conservative, ultra nationalist kind of place. And I would say that in general, or on average, if you pick a person out of the crowd, that's probably going to be true.
agreed, agreed. And I can say personally, especially the guys that watch me or watch my channel, know I'm a golf pro and I work at a really nice, ritzy place, which you would think would be a lot of conservative Republicans, and you'd be surprised. We have plenty of the opposite. So, go ahead.
Well, there's been a lot of studies about how your income level affects your political situation, and they're a little bit, what am I thinking, against at odds with each other. They say a lot of times the more income you have, the more conservative you're going to be because that tends to be business friendly. Or on the other end of that, the more income you have, the more likely you are to have a college degree, which thus makes you more likely to be liberal because you've been exposed to more sorts of uncomfortable things or different ideologies or something like that.
Right. And I will say from the people that I do know that do own their, obviously if you own your own business, you're obviously going to vote for McCain because he was more about making small businesses or helping people with small businesses make money, and Obama's more about helping, I guess, the more general population. So,
Social change,
right,
disadvantage, that sort of
right,
thing. But that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. A lot of people are really diehard about their politics here in the U.S. Oh, the Democrats are all socialist, Marxist, Stalinist. Republicans are practically Nazis, and they want to be white supremacist and stuff. And
yeah,
not everybody's like that. And in general, I think it's a choice of the lesser of two evils.
right. And me personally, I'm a lot like I'm okay with whatever's good for everybody else. Me being my age, I'm 27, soon be 28. I want a president that's going to care, you know, that's not going to lose us our Social Security when we're 70.
Well, people mine your age, we're not getting Social Security. You
Uh,
can just forget
I'm
about
being
that.
optimistic,
Yeah.
but you're probably right.
Yeah, well, right now the big thing is the socialized healthcare, and that's a big mess. And people from other countries, I mean, I have a lot of subscribers for other countries. They think it's silly that we're arguing about socialized healthcare.
Canadians.
Canadians, United Kingdom, pretty much all of Europe, the vast majority of Europe has some form of socialized or state-run medicine.
Okay.
I guess that's
Yeah.
the
Well.
definition of socialized.
Yeah. 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 And I think I think that can be very beneficial because I know me and you were talking before how expensive it is to go to a hospital these days, and obviously I wish there was something we could do about that because you were saying that it can be you spend a day in the hospital or something, it costs you 3 grand, and
No, I
that's
spent 6 hours in a
okay.
hospital.
Okay,
I had a stomach
worse.
flu. I ate bad shrimp. And I got one IV drip. It was like a saline drip to rebalance my electrolytes, and I got a prescription for medicine, and it cost me $3,000.
Yeah, that's an expensive ass bag, isn't it?
Yeah, for people in other countries, if you go to the hospital here in the United States with something, say like a child with a broken arm, you just lost $12,000.
Yeah, I can honestly say I had a minor foot surgery. Well, I guess it could be considered minor because I didn't like break anything crazy, but I had a 3 screws put in my foot for a broken, just a little minor broken bone in my big toe. That was after insurance. I paid $9,000 for that.
Yeah, that's after the insurance. I'm sure before the insurance, it was something like 40, 50,000.
Yeah, and the thing was I was in and out too. I didn't stay one day. That surgery took 2 hours. I was there at 9 a.m. I was out by 2 p.m.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, our quality of healthcare is really good, but
Agreed.
it's very expensive. It's so expensive that the average person can't afford it. So I do, in some sense, support. I don't know, maybe not socialized healthcare. I like the idea. I don't know if it can work here. I think we have a bigger problem with inflated prices,
Yep.
but something needs to be done because the average working man absolutely cannot afford healthcare. If you're talking about an average person, which in the US income is going to be around $30,000 a year, and he has 4 kids, one of them gets hurt, and it costs him $50,000 in healthcare for something relatively simple, somewhat routine surgery. That's a year and a half of income, much less interest payments to the hospital. It breaks the family for ages.
Yeah, and let's face it too. And obviously, I'm not familiar with how other countries how they deal with finding jobs, but I know when the job market was good, let's say 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, um, people, if your job, you would consider a job to be maybe you didn't make as much, but if it had better insurance, you were going to take it. So I don't know if people like in Canada or other countries consider how great the insurance is their job offers into a job like we do.
Oh yeah, because we have to pay our own insurance, even if it's somewhat goes with the job, that's part of your pay package. And insurance
Exactly.
here can be extremely expensive, several hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per month, depending on your coverage rate. But the thing that worries me, I think we definitely need some kind of change to the system, but I don't know if socialized medicine is right for our country. And I don't know how else to say it, but I don't think that I just don't think that we're responsible enough here. I could imagine the very day that hospitals become free, there just being this giant
Oh
clusterfuck of lines and
God.
people with problems trying to get uh, not go to work or get certified for some sort of government assistance or things. And the sad thing is there are so many people that really legitimately need help, and they're going to get squashed by the people that would just love to abuse the system.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there. It's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing because I'm sure you're right. There are a lot of people that work hard and have families that they want to support and that deserve all the free or not I got not free healthcare but
Affordable.
yeah, correct. Yeah, affordable healthcare, but they just you can't get it nowadays and it's brutal.
Yeah, but we were talking about Southern stuff in general before we got into healthcare. And one of the things about the South, I don't know if it's true of other places, but this is a fairly conservative place, and the culture here is very conformity oriented. So if you were to talk about this, just a reasonable, sane conversation like this with any one person you picked at random, the odds are pretty high that you would find them very vehemently set on one or two issues, and they're not going to argue it. It's not going to be a discussion. It's just going to be like, you're wrong, and if you disagree with me, you are a communist, Nazi,
Yeah,
something like
you're
that.
an idiot. Yeah.
Yes, it gets much worse when you discuss religious issues.
Yes, I mean it is, and it's funny because I've worked like I told you before I've worked in many different places and it is just brutal in the South how you can bring up one thing and it'll just set somebody off completely.
Yeah, I mean, it normally starts off, they'll try to prove you wrong, but if there's no end to the argument, it just gets worse and more agitated.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, so that's Southern politics in a nutshell.
So 101.
Yeah, or also around here, the politics is very, very racially divided. The odds are, 99, 95% of white people are Republican, the 99, 95% of black people, which is the other huge segment of our population here, are going to be Democrat, and there's not a lot of crossing back and forth.
Yeah,
It's actually a big social taboo to say you're one or the other, or if you're black and you're Republican, then you're just helping out those white people, or if you're Republican and sorry, if you're white and you're a Democrat, then you're some sort of try not to use pejorative words here, but the word that I would most often hear would be nigger lover.
yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, and we were just sitting there, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I voted Democrat." And first thing that pops up, "Oh, you're such a nigger lover, dude." It's like, no, I'm like, no, don't say that. Like,
Yeah, well, like I said, it's very racially divided here, so that's kind of how it is, even though there are more complicated issues going on, and it looks like we are kind of
yeah,
out of time at the moment.
but yeah, that was some good. That was some good conversation there, though. We schooled people.
Yeah, we can run it into the black a little bit. You can put some text or something up, like maybe a gigantic link to your channel or something like that.
All right, well, that works.
Uh, I hope we informed you a little bit about Southern culture, taboo, politics without being terribly insulting.
Yeah, man, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. And yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that.
All right, good deal. Well, I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. I enjoyed it, YouTube. Thanks.